Now we're recording. So this is the document we've been working on for a couple of days. And this is my sample. And you'll notice it has green writing in it and it has green lines through some things. Here's how I got to this mode. Okay, this is a special mode that you have to click on. And once you've clicked on it, it will automatically write everything you type that you add in green. And it will automatically put a green line through anything that you try to erase. So all of that green stuff happens automatically if you have it in the right mode. So here's how to get to the mode. Everybody watch. It's up here on the right side. Under yours, I think it says editing. But if you click on that, this window will pop up. You have a choice for editing, which is the mode you're in right now, suggesting, or viewing. So you're going to click on suggesting. Once you've clicked on suggesting, this is going to appear green right here in the upper right corner. And from now on, everything I add will be green and everything I delete will have a green line through it. Let me show you how that works. I'm going to continue my revision where I left off last hour. In fact, I'm going to start with this last we're going to do this last paragraph together. All right? So as you guys are going through, stay with me. I need your eyes up here. As you guys are going through your document, you're going to use your question flooding questions to help you come up with things to revise. Now remember, I want to make this very clear to everyone. You do not need to answer every question that's flooded to your document. You are the ultimate writer, and there will be questions you choose not to answer because you don't want to put those answers in your writing. So for example, there may be a whole bunch of questions in the lead that are getting to the who, what, when, where, why. I have already told you I want you to leave some of that out. So if you choose not to answer that question because it's the lead and you want to leave that piece out, then you should leave it out. The ultimate decisions about what gets put in your piece are yours, right? The questions are only there to help you. So I'm at the end of my document now, and I can see that what's highlighted is everything that my reader has added a question about. So I can just click on the highlighted section and see the question. During the car ride, how long was the ride? So I ask myself, do I want to add information about how long the car ride was? I think maybe let's see. I didn't talk the whole way back and I felt crushed. You know what this makes me think though? What I could do is I could add 5-minute car ride home, which felt like an hour. That gives the sense that even though it was short, it felt long. I barely talked. The question is, why did you barely talk? Well, I barely talked because I didn't make it. And I think that's going to be clear to my reader eventually anyway, so I've decided I'm going to ignore that question. I don't want to answer it right now. I bit back the pain of being crushed. The pain. What was so painful and why? I think I'm going to add emotional. Because I want them to know it wasn't physical pain that I was feeling emotional pain because I didn't make the team. Of being crushed. Now crushed says, what do you mean by crushed? What was crushed? The emotional pain of having my confidence crushed. That, I like that. That makes it clear. And I like the C, confidence crushed. It's alliteration, right? With 2 C's at the beginnings of words. I like the way it sounds. After my mom had dropped off, the question is, where were they dropped off? My friends. Who were my friends? So let's say after I had dropped Kelly and Stacy off at off in their driveways. After my mom had dropped Kelly and Stacy off in their driveways, my friends, now I can get rid of my friends because I don't need that. I've got their names. So I'm going to highlight it and click backspace. And what it does is it crosses it out. So after my mom had dropped Kelly and Stacy off in their driveways and we got home, I sprinted into the house. Sprinted. What were I running from? I escaped the stifling car, and I was running from the car. I wanted to get away from that closed feeling. I escaped the stifling car and sprinted into the house, leaving, why did I leave it? Leaving my water, let's see, water bottle and envelope on the seat. So how can I say that I left it because I was too preoccupied? Any suggestions for me? I escaped the stifling car and sprinted into the house without my no, I'm gonna say that, oops. Okay, see what I've just done, you guys? I crossed something out I didn't want to. What if you do that? Go up here and go undo. And then you can fix it. Go back to where you were. You know what? I'm going to leave it. I think leaving my water bottle gives the impression that I'm absent-minded. But I do want to say that my water bottle is half full. So even though it still has water in it, I'm going to leave it to show that I don't even want it anymore. Leaving my water bottle and, oh, the envelope, and the dreaded envelope. The dreaded envelope that brought the bad news on the seat. Before, on the seat, on the, what kind of seat? On the tattered back seat. Before I could change from my, what would you be wearing it to school?
To school or to volleyball?
Oh, maybe home from volleyball. Well, let's see. Would you be coming from the tryouts if you were just finding out if you made it or not?
It's over the summer. It'd be
Oh yeah. Changed from my, so what would you wear to the tryouts?
probably the spandex and t-shirt.
Okay, yeah, from my spandex and t-shirt. Before I could change from my spandex and t-shirt into my, what's a word that would describe your pajamas as a place where you could like escape to? Soft, yeah.
Inviting.
Yes, inviting. I love that. Inviting to my inviting pajamas. So we're going to take this piece out. I'm going to backspace. There you go. Into my inviting pajamas, I was crying. Instead of saying I was crying, I was, how would you be crying? Would you be crying whimpering or sobbing, or would it be like, I think when you got home and you closed the door of your room, at that point, what do you think, Stu?
You're bawling.
You're bawling. Yes, I think so. I was bawling. I like that. Because by the time you can close your door and nobody's seeing you, you've been holding it in so long you can't anymore, and then it just gushes, right? I crawled into bed. How would you crawl? In a way that you were like, oh, like so, just, you felt so small and like such a failure. I crawled Yeah.
Oh, I have something else. Is the following spelled with a W?
Yes! Thank you. Thank you. See? I crawled. How about I. Yeah, Stu? Oh, I crawled, yes. Turtle-like into my again, a word that means like my soft and what do you think? Yeah.
Comforting.
Comforting, very good. Comforting bed, even though it was too early, even though it was, what time would it be if it was too early?
6 o'clock.
It was in the summertime? Only 8, we'll say only 8. And I'm going to add an I, had no intention of sleeping. And well, if I didn't have any intention of sleeping, I'm going to get rid of this and I'm going to say, I just needed to be alone. I lay there and another word for crying. What? Wept. Why me? I thought I did well. Why hadn't I been picked? I think this is okay, but you know what? I'm going to make it italics because it's showing that I was thinking it like that. All right? So do you guys see how we've taken the questions and we've used them to come up with things to add? You see that? And if you do it question by question, you're going to have some questions that you want to answer and some questions that you don't want to answer. But the questions themselves will help you think of things to add and especially detail. Justin, question.
Like, didn't she like go to her room right after tryouts? So would it really be 8 o'clock?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be 8 o'clock.
That's why I said 6.
6?
6.
You want to change it to 6?
Yes.
It was only 6. Let's go 6:30. How's that?
That's good. Oh, yeah, 'cause you did drop the plans on.
Right. So, raise your hand if you think you can do this now. So, if you don't think you can do this, your hand is not up, I want you to tell me, what do you think you're going to have a problem with? What do you think might be a problem, Justin?
We didn't finish question.
You didn't finish questioning yet. We're going to have to do that first. What else might be a problem for you if you're finished questioning but you're still having trouble not knowing if you can do this? Isaiah, you didn't have your hand up. What are you thinking?
Sort of like finding different words for things.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I would suggest. If you're having trouble coming up with the words, like I've been asking you for suggestions, because I can't always come up with the word, and maybe you can't come up with the word always by yourself, here's what I do. I try to think of a word that means sort of what I mean. So for example, if I mean that the bed was soft, but I don't want to use the word soft, and that's not exactly what I mean. I really meant more like comforting and enveloping or something, but I didn't come up with those words yet. I just have soft in my head. I'm going to put soft in my paper, and I'm going to highlight it and use my thesaurus to see what does it suggest for soft. And when you look at the list of suggestions for soft, there might be one there probably be one there that is closer to what you mean. And if it's still not quite right, take the one that's closer, put that in the thesaurus and look that up. And you can kind of go stringing thesaurus words one to another until you get to the exact word you want. That's what I do all the time with my writing at home. And it's because I'm old and my vocabulary is, I'm starting to lose words out of my vocabulary. I used to be able to come up with them really fast, but now that I'm getting older, my memory isn't as good as it used to be, and I can't always come up with the word. So I know the word because I know I used to know it, but I can't pull it out of my brain. So that's where I use that thesaurus all the time. All right, try it. Are there any other questions or problems before you go? All right, so we have